The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Glory to you, O Lord. At that time, Jesus was led by the Spirit into the desert to be tempted by the devil. He fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, and afterwards he was hungry. The tempter approached and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, command that these stones become loaves of bread." He said in reply, "It is written, one does not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes forth from the mouth of God." And then the devil took him to this holy city and made him stand on the parapet of the temple and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down. For it is written, he will command his angels concerning you, and with their hands they will support you, lest you dash your foot against a stone." And Jesus answered him, "Again it is written, you shall not put the Lord your God to the test." Then the devil took him up to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world in their magnificence. And he said to him, all these I shall give you, if you will prostrate yourself and worship me." At this Jesus said to him, "Get away, Satan. It is written, the Lord your God shall you worship, and him alone shall you serve." And then the devil left him, and behold, angels came and ministered to him. The gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. So how much is enough, huh? How much is enough for all of you and me? There was a professor in New York City and has had a number of conversations with Manhattan cab drivers. Can't imagine. And one of his favorite goes something like this. There was a very gregarious cab driver who was full of trivia and went on about his struggles of trying to eke out a living in this big city. So the professor finally asked him, "Are you happy?" No, said the cabbie. "Too many problems." "Oh, what would make you happy then?" Said, "Give me $1 million and I have it all made." "All right," the professor proposed. Surprise, suppose you have $1 million. What would you do then?" The cabbie said he would pay off all his debts. "Fine," the professor said. "They're paid. Now what?" "Well," he said, "I'd buy a house. Well, maybe I'd buy 2 or 3 houses in different areas, different climates, so that I could visit each one." "Good. You have houses. Now what?" "I'd want a wife." "As long as we're fantasizing," the cabbie said, "I'll take several. Let's say in different cities, and I could travel around to all of them." Professor said, Done. Now what?" So the cabbie then proposed to travel to indulge his hobbies, to see and to do things he's always dreamed of doing. And each time the professor would agree and say, Granted. What more now? What more?" And after a while, the cabbie began to quiet down. Then all of a sudden, in the middle of a busy intersection in New York, he stopped the cab. He said to the professor, he said, hey, there's something going on here, something funny. I can't seem to get to the bottom of all this. What am I really looking for after all? They both began to talk about the unlimited possibilities for doing good. The huge capacity that comes from doing good comes happiness, and for the infinite. Because the finite never will be ever enough for any of us. It's the infinite that gives happiness. No matter how much we have, we never feel as if this is all there is. There always has to be something more that's going to reach our happiness. And so we go on and on and on. So I ask you this. This Lenten season, let's you and I take our own personal cab ride to infinity and consider where our true happiness really lies, because happiness is an inside job. So let us realize that the good and the meaningful are not found in things, but in the infinite treasures of compassion and mercy that we share with one another in Jesus Christ, our salvation.